Hi, welcome to Cluster Reel. I am your host Loki, L1134, and today I will be discussing Loki Season 2.
I know what I want. I know what kind of god I need to be. For you. For all of us.
Loki Season 1 was released in 2021, and Loki Season 2 was released in 2023, and it was created by Michael Waldron. Stars Tom Hiddleston as Loki, of course. He's been playing Loki for the last 12, 13 years. Only now we are seeing
a spoiler warning
how
is in effect.
Deeply complex his character can be. It shows how well-rounded of a character and how developed he is as a character.
Someone cooked here.
Loki Season 1 starts out with him where the Avengers had done some time travel shenanigans to try to stop Thanos. Loki ends up basically profiting off of this because he takes the Tesseract and he escapes, which isn't supposed to happen across the sacred timeline. That's where the TVA comes in. He is a variant. He isn't supposed to exist on this timeline. So he's taken into the TVA. He meets Mobius, and they're trying to track down this variant of Loki that's really dangerous. Her name's Sylvie. Season 1 wraps up with Loki and Sylvie kind of falling for each other. Loki a little bit more than Sylvie, but they are showing some romantic feelings towards each other. And then at the end of the series, they end up going to the palace at the end of time, which holds a Kang variant named He Who Remains. So He Who Remains explains that he is the one who's keeping the whole timeline together. The only reason why there's not a multiversal war happening like it happened in the past. So Sylvie ends up realizing that nobody has any free will and ends up stabbing He Who Remains, which completely obliterates the sacred timeline. You caught up? Because we're going into Season 2.
Wow! How long has it been?
Could it be 3 or 4?
400 years.
What? Feels like 1,000, right?
So we're in the fallout of He Who Remains getting killed, and the sacred timeline is branching to where it's not manageable anymore. There's no way they can prune all these branches that are coming out. So that leaves the TVA with nothing. There is this temporal loom that takes the whole multiverse and weaves it into one timeline. What happens with these branches is that the branches aren't going to be able to get tangled into it to make the sacred timeline, and it's overloading the loom. That's the problem, because if that loom overloads, that's the end of the TVA. So Loki has this new ability where he can basically time jump in the TVA, which we were meant to believe that the TVA was timeless or that time worked differently in the TVA. Now we're seeing Loki going to the future, past, and present of the TVA. So this allows him to see into the past of the TVA, see how Kang ran it before he erased everyone's memories, and tries to fix the loom as he's doing it. Well, they end up meeting a Kang variant named Victor Timely, which he's actually a good guy. Good guy Kang. He comes in and tries to help them. Sylvie wants to kill him because he's a variant of He Who Remains, but she realizes that she's kind of hypocritical if she's going to kill someone who hasn't even made the choice to do bad yet, which he's done nothing but good so far. Loki wants to save the TVA because everyone in the TVA he has grown to love. Loki has never had friends before. Mobius is his best friend, and it's the first time he's actually felt that before. Sylvie is his love interest. It's the first time that he's felt anyway about someone, and of course it's himself from a different timeline. All of the shows, he even likes B-15, Casey, and the new character OB. He likes all of them. That's why he wants to keep the TVA, because he was the god of mischief, and he loved chaos, but in the TVA he found order and the chaos out in the multiverse, or out in the timeline.
Is he boring you yet? He rambles a lot, but I love him. Platonically, I wish I could find a woman. Maybe I will call Miss Minutes. She left me for he who remains. Even artificial intelligences get lonely.
He finds this found family, and he wants to save it from being destroyed when the temporal loom gets overloaded. So Loki ends up spending centuries trying to figure out how to increase the loom. And this leads him back to he can't fix it because there's no way it can account for all the branching timelines. So he has to go back to when He Who Remains got killed by Sylvie to try to prevent it, to try to save the TVA and the timeline. So after what I would say is centuries of him fighting Sylvie to try to stop this, He Who Remains catches on that this Loki has been around a few times. So then he has a conversation with him, stops time, has a conversation with him, and he's like, hey, how many times have you done this? And have you figured out what you needed to do yet? So He Who Remains had planned for Loki to be his replacement all along, either to be his replacement or to make sure that He Who Remains was still in power and not dead. Loki ends up finding out that the only way to stop everything from being destroyed is that either he could save He Who Remains or he could do something differently to give everyone free will to make sure that the multiverse is kind of orderly instead of the chaos that turned into the multiversal war. Loki ends up going to the loom, and he destroys it. He destroys the loom, which ends up killing all of the multiverse branches until Loki enchants them with his magic. As he enchants the multiverse branches with his magic, they glow green. He ends up pulling all the branches into the Citadel at the end of time, and that's where his throne shows up. He ends up pulling all the branches and sits in his throne, and then out of all the branches of the multiverse, he weaves it into a multiversal-sized Yggdrasil, which was the tree of life that connected the 9 realms in Norse mythology. Loki sits at the Citadel at the end of time on his throne, keeping and binding together the multiversal Yggdrasil to forever be alone. That way, all of his friends can live happy lives. It would be an understatement if I said that this show didn't leave me thinking about it a couple days after I had seen it. I liked season 1 a lot. It felt like it actually had some flow to it, and it kind of felt pre-planned.
Loki, there is someone here for you. Okay, Miss Minutes, I brought the Loki variant. Can you go out with me now?
Sure, honey, check your phone.
I see how it is. I'm gonna free my homie Loki.
I can't believe I had a run-in with the TVA as well. Them guys just showed up and said I wasn't supposed to be here. But thankfully, the Loki that's holding the Yggdrasil let me go.
Not even a fucking thank you.
I'm back, ready to give my final conclusion of Loki Season 1 and 2. Season 1 was fantastic. Loved it. Season 2, I think, brought it to new heights. I loved the way that they gave Loki a good arc to where he kind of became a hero, and they tried to put some nuance and say that he was a hero all along. He was just misunderstood, didn't have friends, and that him finding his friends at the TVA was the reason for his change. That's why he went through all of this. That's why he became the hero that holds together the multiverse now. And he's always afraid to be alone, and then that his sacrifice saved his friends, but yet he will be alone forever, supposedly until a Kang variant comes to replace him and become He Who Remains, and then the cycle starts over and over again. I like the new character of OB. He really just spotlighted everything he was in. Every single scene he was in, he stole. Sylvie, I liked her in season 1 better. season 2, she kind of just didn't do much. She was kind of in the distance, not really doing anything, and honestly just came off a little bitchy. I kind of felt bad for Loki in the end, that he did all this for her, and it doesn't even really look like that she appreciated that much. It shows Mobius and Sylvie, and they're on a timeline where Mobius is seeing his life unfold without the TVA, and Sylvie is basically saying that, yeah, it sucks that Loki's gone, but now it's time for us to make our own lives. And then it ends with Mobius looking off into the distance, just wanting to enjoy the moment, and then it cuts to Loki being forever alone on his throne. And the fact that the one time Loki didn't want a throne, he finally put the throne behind him. He didn't want it. He doesn't want to rule. He doesn't want to do any of this. And it's the one time he's awarded it. And that is his glorious purpose. He is Loki of Asgard, and he is burdened with glorious purpose. This truly does feel like a burden. Before, I think he kind of wanted it. He welcomed it, strived towards it. And this time, he doesn't really want it. And that's what makes his sacrifice even more. He doesn't want a throne now. He gets it. He has to make an ultimate sacrifice to keep his friends alive, and he's forever alone. It's poetic, truly. And it's the best piece of Marvel that I've seen in a while. I thought Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was good. This is much better than that, I will say. And I hope Marvel understands what works so they can try to work on that with their other films, because the Marvels didn't do that good. I don't want to see the Marvels. I've literally watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos that explains the whole story to me, so I don't have to watch it. And I don't think it deserves my money, to be honest. So there won't be a movie review on the Marvels. So Loki Season 2, I give it a 10 out of 10. It was very good. It made me think about it days, and here we are a little over a week after the finale aired, and I'm still thinking about it. It's just that good of a show, and I really appreciate that they gave Loki a good end and made a good show out of this, out of all the bad and mediocre Disney Plus shows. If you like this video, hit like. And if you like me, if you like the way I present my movie reviews, please hit that subscribe button. It would really help out the channel, and it'll let me bring more videos like this to you. Thank you for watching, and good night.